The LexSemantic platform houses lexical and semantic reference works, dictionaries, encyclopedias, didactic works, etc. The first work now launched is the WordNet Plus Encyclopedic Semantic Dictionary, containing Princeton WordNet with extensions and integrated with Wikipedia. Next, use cases will be presented that illustrate some aspects of the interface in WordNet Plus.
This is the search screen. You could get the entry by typing voice, clipboard, list, or by the history list. Here we type the entry, car, to get its definition.
This is the definition screen for the entry, car. Contains groups of synonyms that share the same definition. Pressing on automobile shows its definition. It has the following interface components. Shows the derivatives of the entry automobile. And opens the lexical relations screen.
Screen with the lexical relationships of the entry automobile. Returning to the definition of automobile, opens the screen of semantic relations.
Broader is a generalization, and narrow a specialization of the concept that defines the group of synonyms. Pressing the broader kind slider shows related definitions and so on. Pressing the More button opens the Wikipedia Encyclopedia.
To get the meaning of a word on WordNet Plus, press it and select Copy in the menu. If the Capture Clipboard button is ticked, it automatically leads to WordNet, otherwise press the left button.
The integration of the semantic base with Wikipedia used artificial intelligence and human curatorship for over 50,000 concepts. This makes WordNet Plus a valuable instrument for the acquisition of knowledge by the user, as it represents a semantic indexation to this encyclopedia. Other examples will be given later. Princeton WordNet PWN, developed at Princeton University, is one of the greatest achievements of lexicography at all times, disruptively changing the form of presentation of the English language dictionary. Imitated worldwide, it establishes lexical and semantic relationships between concepts represented by groups of entry, synonyms, called synsets.
Next, we will present some of its main characteristics and extensions to the original work.
The lexical and semantic relationships are not specifically between entries, but between concepts. Therefore, the synset was created, which is a group of entries with seamless synonymy, sharing the same concept. See in the definition represented the concept, without qualification, that all entries can be used interchangeably in the examples, a complete coward, or a consummate coward, and so on.
In this way, WordNet Plus is a thesaurus whose utility is not found in ordinary dictionaries.
The lists are tools for accessing entries organized by the user or third parties. They are synchronized between devices where the user has LexSemantic installed. That way, when you change an item in a list, it will be immediately available on all devices.
In the search screen menu, pressing the lists item displays the editing screen. You can choose one of the lists to edit and use the menu to show the editing possibilities.
New creates an empty list. Import new creates a list from a mounted or previously shared file. Share a list by exporting it to a file or an application such as WhatsApp. Merge into imports a list adding to an existing one. Usage examples. 1. A teacher could send a list to his students to expand their vocabulary. 2. List of learned words. 3. Entries that indicate a certain area of knowledge on Wikipedia.
To use the list on the search screen, press the heart button and select the list at the bottom bar. For example, the entry begrudge, see that the associated list is shown. The icon shown at the bottom left is used for selecting the priority list. It will be associated with the entry if it does not belong to any list.
In the complete entry, the associated list is some ... This means that there is more than one list associated with the entry. Pressing the heart button opens the screen for selecting associated lists. When there is only one associated list, this screen can be called up by pressing the orange bar that appears in this case. This is the screen for selecting the lists associated with the entry. By pressing the name of the list, associate or dissociate it with the entry. The original WordNet deals with nouns, adjectives, verbs and adverbs. WordNet Plus included all grammatical categories, Based on another great lexicographical work of the 20th century, the Wiktionary, curated in the definitions. Semantic relationships were created between these new entries and the original ones. Here are some examples.
Indefinite articles. All prepositions. Personal pronoun types. Object pronouns. Types of conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions.
Interjections are semantically related to the original entry interjection. Semantic relationships enrich the search for interjections based on their semantic contexts. For example, in the interjection Christ, we request its semantic relations by pressing the corresponding button. We obtain its broader instance relationship with the entry liturgical. Finally, we request the semantic relationship of this entry, narrow instance, and we obtain the interjections associated with it. An important word formation mechanism, learning prefixes leads to rapid vocabulary acquisition. WordNet Plus presents the prefixes semantically associated with the concepts to which they apply. The following examples demonstrate the great utility of this form of presentation, not found in common dictionaries.
Suppose you are in the entry, bad, meaning having negative qualities. Then you request the semantic relationship.
The narrow word formation relation shows two prefixes that can form words with this implicit concept, for example, cacoeths, misdeed. The purpose of this relationship is that it links prefixes and suffixes to WordNet Plus entries. But there is another more direct way to find the prefixes associated with the entry, bad. In the entry, prefix, from the semantic relationship, narrow member, all available prefixes are listed, with around 460 definitions. Sliding to the entry, caco, we find four conceptual alternatives: bad, inability, poor and evil. Obtaining the semantic relation of the synset, bad, defective, leads to the relation, broad word formation, with the entries bad and defective. This means that words starting with caco can be constructed in the concepts of these entries. Obtaining the semantic relation in bad resumes what was previously obtained, that is, the prefixes caco and mis. In addition to grammatical inflections, suffixes carry lexical information, derivations, giving new meaning to words, and may or may not change their grammatical categories. This is what WordNet Plus handles. As with prefixes, WordNet Plus presents the suffixes semantically associated with the concepts to which they apply. In addition, it informs the grammatical transformation applied to the source entry. The following examples demonstrate the great utility of this form of presentation, not found in common dictionaries. Supposed to be in the entry, ability, meaning, a quality of being able, and you request the semantic relationship. The narrow word formation relation shows three suffixes that added to the end of a word give it the concept of ability. Note that in the first synset, there will be a grammatical transformation from adjective to noun. For example, from available to availability. As with prefixes, there is another more direct way to find the suffixes associated with the entry, ability. In the suffix entry, from the narrow member semantic relation, all available suffixes are listed, around 520 definitions. In the entry ability, their semantic relations are obtained. The broader word formation list shows two entries whose concepts apply to suffixes. Requesting the synset semantic relations, suitability, suitableness, we obtain the corresponding suffixes. For example, the adjective accessible leads to the noun accessibility.
Regarding the entry accessible, the lexical relation, derivation-related form, shows its derivatives, including the suffix, ability.
WordNet Plus integrates two of the most important reference works of all time, Princeton WordNet and Wikipedia. Not a trivial integration of executing a link from the name of the entries, as in some common dictionaries, which leads to many disambiguation failures. For example, having asked for the word calculus in the sense of a small stone in the human body, get in return the explanation of infinitesimal calculus in mathematics. In WordNet Plus, more than 50,000 human-curated integrations were carried out, in addition to the artificial intelligence algorithms already existing in the encyclopedia itself.
The selected entries were those that, precisely, needed an encyclopedic complementation for their understanding, or images that are worth 1,000 words. Let's give some examples.
The WordNet Plus presents succinct definitions of the synsets. However, in many cases, the use of the encyclopedia is necessary, or to show images, or even for additional explanations. Let's look at the example of the entry, epicycloid. Pressing on more ... opens Wikipedia, which gives a more precise view of how the curve behaves, its equations, etc.
As an example of disambiguation, mentioned above, we show the entry, calculus, in its 3 different concepts in Wikipedia: medicine, mathematics, dentistry. We now present the most important and extremely useful functionality of the WordNet Plus integration with Wikipedia, only possible in a base containing semantic relations. This is the semantic indexing of the encyclopedia, which allows establishing a taxonomic plan for acquiring knowledge. Let's look at the example in the study of rocks.
We start with the entry, rock, where we have 2 concepts to analyze corresponding to the following subjects in the synsets: rock, stone, natural object, and substance. Let's see in the subject natural object, the semantic relationship, narrower kind, containing consolidated minerals, as in meteorites or fragments. In each of them, we can request Wikipedia, as in achondrict. Returning to rock entry, and in the substance subject, in the semantic relation narrower substance we obtain, mineral. From its semantic relationship narrower kind, minerals and their groups are listed. From the semantic relationship of the mineral, amphibole, narrower kind is obtained, listing the minerals of this group.
Returning to synset, rock, stone, we open the semantic relation, narrower kind. In sedimentary rock, we open the semantic relation narrower kind, obtaining the list of rocks of this type. In arenaceous rock, we obtain sandstone in its semantic relation.
This example applies to animals, plants, artifacts, the human body, food, places, objects, people, phenomena, forms, substances, mythology, etc., that make the WordNet Plus integrated with Wikipedia a more valuable and powerful tool than when we use them individually.
Thank you for watching this video, hoping that WordNet Plus will become part of your language use tools. We conclude by showing our great admiration to the teams that built these 2 phenomenal works of lexicography, WordNet and Wikipedia.